Good evening, all our members and devotees of our Mangala Vihara Buddhist temple, and all the Buddhist Dhamma friends around the world. On behalf of the resident monks of the Mangala Vihara Buddhist temple and management committee of our temple, I would like to wish you all to have a happy Vesak Day. Due to coronavirus, now we are celebrating in different ways. Anyhow, coronavirus cannot stop us to pay homage, to remember, and to respect to the Buddha. That is why now we are celebrating Vesak Day. Today is my Dhamma talk. In fact, I supposed to talk about 49 days, the earliest 49 days of the Buddha, because this situation is very related to our current situation. However, I would like to go a little bit before that. The earliest human race, according to Buddhism and the Buddhist teaching, human beings in Pali is called Manusa. Manusa comes from the Manu. The earliest history of human is the Manu, the man called the Manu, was elected by the people to be a king. Then, from that time onward, the generation of the Manu, or the elected king, is called the Manusa. Manusa here means human beings. So according to the Buddhist teaching, the earliest pioneer of our humankind is the Manu. Or another name we will also call Mahasamanta. Mahasamanta in Pali is elected by majority. So the Manu or the king is elected by majority of the people. Since that time, humankind is called Manusa. So times pass by year, century by centuries. Then I would like to take out the name of the Ukkaga. Ukkaga was the pioneer of Sakya. Sakya belongs to the race of the Buddha, Sakya race. The king Ukkaga had 15 sons and daughters, 15 princes and princesses. So when they were grown up, the king Ukkaga told his children, do not wait for the kingship here. If you are able to do, go somewhere else and build your own capital. And I believe you could do that. Then the king Ukkaga sent out all his children. So the children, the prince and the princess went to the place where there is so-called tea wood forest. Near the tea wood forest, they're just right around, and then they could not decide where to build a new capital. At the time, they came across the ascetic or the hermit called the Kapila. The ascetic Kapila advised them, if they are going to build a new capital, build somewhere here. So that they cleared the forest and they built a new capital. Since this was advised by the Kapila, the hermit, so the name of the capital is called Kapilavastu. This the place where the Buddha's father been kinship sometimes later. So Sakya has two different meanings. Another meaning is Sakya. One meaning is Sakya. Sakya means tea wood. The capital built around the tea wood. That's why that capital is called, the people are also called Sakya. And another name of the Sakya is the able. Sakya, those people are very able. That's why Sakya or Sakya, we could pronounce both are correct in two ways, Sakya or Sakya. So the capital, since the capital was built around the tea wood, so the capital is, and it is advised by the Kapila. So the name of the capital is called Kapilavastu. This is the father of the Buddha's place. Then another name, Devadaha. Devadaha is the native of the Lord Buddha's mother. Here, Deva and Daha. Deva means the prince and the princess. Daha means the water or the pound. Then that means the prince and the princess always take a shower in the pound. So another capital was built around that place, around that pound. That's why this place is called Devadaha. These are two places which are very, very important. As far as the Buddhist or future Buddha's biography is concerned, Devadaha is the birthplace or native of the Buddha's mother. Kapilavastu is the native of the Buddha's father. So who is the Kapila? According to the commentaries, Kapila, at the time, the Kapila was the Bodhisattva. The Kapila hermit just practiced meditation in the tea wood forest. Then after that, he passed away. And he reborn, he took a rebirth in the Tao to Cittara by the name of the Son to Cittara. And I believe many of our Sunday school students and Bali college students already know about that. It's a very familiar name, San to Cittara and to Cittara. Kapila hermit passed away and he reborn in the Tusita by the name of San Tusita. Just about 2,600 years ago, by the request of all the deities and Brahmas, the San Tusita, the deity, came down to this world and he became Siddhartha in the Lumbini. Today we are celebrating that as the birthday of the Prince Siddhartha. His father was Suddhodana in the Meadow Maya. He was born on the full moon day of May. It's the first incident of the Buddha's life. So Visakti, the Bodhisattva was born on the full moon day of the May. Second incident, so the Buddha became the Buddhahood, became enlightened. So that is why we also celebrate Vesak day as the day the Buddha realized the Dhamma. So as we all know, the Buddha, he enjoyed his kinship, and at 29 years old, the Buddha renounced all the kings a royal palace, as well as all the subjects. And he became a monk. For 6 years, he tried to practice this and that, but he couldn't find the right practice. So in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, that's why when the Buddha delivered his first sermon, the Buddha introduced 2 extreme practices. I believe all of you already know that. Kama Sukhalika Nu Yoga and Atta Kilamata Nu Yoga. Kama Sukhalika Nu Yoga means self-indulgence. Bodhisattva already know that by practicing this Kama Sukhalika Nu Yoga, self-indulgence, craving for things, he will never get to the right path. That is why the Buddha renounced. However, when he practiced for 6 years, the Buddha find out another extreme practice, which is called Atta Kilamata Nu Yoga, self-mortification. This is not the right practice as well, not the correct practice as well. However, when the Buddha renounced at the time, this practice was very popular among the hermits or ascetics. Someone who wants to achieve the higher level must follow this practice, so-called Atta Kilamata Nu Yoga. It seems that the Buddha, this traditional belief had heavily influenced on the Buddhas as well. That is why the Buddha himself practiced this self-mortification for 6 years. After 6 years of practice, the Buddha knew that this is not the right practice to follow. Then the Buddha avoided all these 2 extreme practices. Until 29 years old, the Buddha followed self-indulgence. Then he knew that's the wrong path to walk. Then he renounced. Then for 6 years, the Buddha practiced self-mortification. Then he came to realize this is not the right path as well. Then the Buddha discussed, stop all these 2, avoid all these 2 extreme practices. Then finally, on the full moon day of Visakha, full moon day of May, the Buddha practiced the middle path, so-called Noble Eightfold Paths. Then after that, only when he followed the Noble Eightfold Path, he became the Buddha. He became the Buddha on the full moon day of May as well. So when we look back, about 2,564 years, or we can, it's a minus 45 years. Then the Buddha, the Bodhisattva, became the Buddha on this full moon day of May. That's why we celebrate the Vesak Day. Today, after he became enlightenment, or he became the Buddha did not have any contact with anybody. The Buddha did not have any conversation with anybody for 7 weeks. In our Buddhist tradition, we all know this is 7 weeks of the Buddha's early life. After he became the Buddha, how the Buddha spent his time. So in this first week, the Buddha just merely sit down and then reflect, contemplate the dependent origination for 7 days. First of all, he experienced the bliss of emancipation in one posture. for 7 days. Then the Buddha, first of all, reflects the depending origination. Why we have this life? Why this mechanism is going on and on without stopping? How can we stop this series of life, cycle of life, reflecting the beginning of the generating forces, or how to stop them is called depending origination. On this night, the Buddha came to realize about this. Why we got this life? How can we stop this life? So here, one of the most famous utterance, too many a birth in existence, one that I, seeking but not finding the better of the house, sorrowful indeed is a repeated birth. O householder, you are seeing, you shall build no house again. All your rafters are broken. Your bridgepole is a shutter. Mind attained the unconditionate. Achieve is the end of the suffering. Here, the house means this is our 5 aggregates. In brief, we could say this is our life. Who is the architect of the house? So the Buddha came to see that ignorance and then craving. These two are the architects of the house. I did not see who was the architect of this house. So I could not stop them to rebuild this house again and again. Now, what the Buddha meant, I found who they are. These 2 persons, or these 2 architects of the body and the mind, the life, is ignorance and craving, mainly craving. Behind the craving, there is ignorance. In that way, the Buddha said, once I found out them, I uprooted them, I already eliminated them, I went over them. That's why they cannot build a house anymore. Then that means the Buddha said, no more life, no more aggregate, 5 aggregates, then no more sufferings. This is the end of the suffering. In that way, the Buddha spent his time for 7 days, just reflecting the depending origination and enjoying the bliss of emancipation in one posture. In the second week, the Buddha gazed at the Bodhi tree from a higher ground, about 20 to 30 feet away from the Bodhi tree, reflecting the gratitude of the Bodhi tree with the motionless eyes. So maybe we also understand about the second week, the Buddha is paying his gratitude to the Bodhi tree, which is having given him the shades and the shelter while he was struggling to become a Buddha. That's why the Buddha just gazed at and reflect the gratitude of the Bodhi tree. So this also the Buddha teaches. We, as human beings, have so many people to remember for their gratitude as well. Even the Buddha remembered the gratitude of the Bodhi tree. We must also recognize, we must also reflect the gratitude of the people around us, especially our parents, our teachers, and our senior citizens, and our relatives, and so on and so forth. This is what the Buddha showed in his second week. Third week, while the Buddha is gazing at the Bodhi tree, the devas and deities thought the Buddha had some craving to the Bodhi tree. Then that means the Buddha having achieved the Buddhahood. Since the time, the Buddha had very strong attachment to the body tree. This is what the deities thought. In order to dispel their thought, here the Buddha created about 60 feet long ambulatory and pace up and down. It's called Jangamana Sattaha. The Buddha just do walking meditation for 7 days. Just did the walking meditation. Because some deities thought the Buddha had some attachment to the body tree. That's why the Buddha rose up and to dispel their doubt. And the Buddha created the path in order to make walking meditation. So the Buddha did the walking meditation for 7 days. So the third week, we know the walking week. Jangamana Sattaha. The fourth week, the Buddha contemplated Abhidharma jewel in a jewel chamber. This is created by the deities. According to Body Vibhavani, this is about 40 feet away from the body tree. This is created by the deities. Then while he was meditating, and the Buddha also reflect the Abhidharma. 7 books of the Abhidharma, and also I believe all of our Sunday school students and Pali College students already know about this. While the Buddha reflects the last book or 7th book of the Abhidharma, is called Patthana. In English, causal relation. After reflecting this causal relation, the Buddha's body and the mind was so purified that 6 colors rays emitted from the Buddha's body. So now we could see the 6 color rays even in our shrine hall. Not only that, the Buddhist flags also use these 6 colors. So here, first week and the 5th week are found in the Vinaya Mahāvāga. Second week, 3rd week, and then 4th week, all these 21 days are not found in the original Pali text, so-called Vinaya Mahāvāga. In the Vinaya Mahāvāga, the Pali text go from 1st week to 5th week. However, when the Buddha went to the Isipatana, how the Buddha spent his time, but there was still 25 days missing. That is why many teachers, our teachers also agree that commentaries, statements are relevant to the Pali text. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th week are not found in the Pali text, but only in the commentary, but it's relevant according to the Buddha's itinerary. So let's go to the 5th week. On the 5th week, we can understand the Buddha was leaving the body tree slowly, gradually, and step by step. In the 5th week, the Buddha went to another banyan tree, so-called Ajabala. Literally meaning of the Ajabala is, Aja is the goat. Pala is the boys who are taking care of the goat or the cow. And if now we could say easily cowboys or goat boys. The cows and the goats will be around in the pasture. By the time, boys will be under the banyan tree, playing or sometimes resting or sometimes talking, sometimes chatting. This tree is called Ajabala banyan tree because the cowboys and the goat boys always stay and play there, while the cows and the ghosts are loitering around it. So the Buddha went to the Ajabala, eastern side of the Bodhi tree. So then that means when the Buddha went to Ajabala, it's slightly far from the Bodhi tree. But for 4 weeks, the Buddha, 28 days, the Buddha spent 28 days only around the Bodhi tree. On the 5th week, the Buddha departed from the Bodhi tree slowly and then gradually. And the Buddha went to the Ajabala banyan tree. And he meditated. There's not much incidents as well, but when the Buddha came out from the bliss of emancipation, a Brahmin so-called Homhomka Jatika, very haughty and very conceited Brahmin, came and had some conversation with the Buddha. In fact, he asked what he really wanted to know. But the Buddha did not reply him intentionally. So he wanted to know the meaning of Brahma. Brahma, maybe we can say holy life or holy person. He wanted to know the meaning of holy person or holy life. The Buddha was not looking at him, just merely uttering himself. The Buddha just speak out this stanza. The Brahmani who has discarded evil, without conceit, free from defilements, self-control, versed in knowledge, such person can be called a Brahman, not in the time of the caste. So I think the Homhomka, he may not appreciate the Buddha's teaching because the Buddha said without conceit. He was a very conceited man, so then he left. On the 6th week, a little bit more far from Bodhi tree. On the 6th week, the bliss of emancipation under the Muchalenda tree, about 50 feet away from Jabala. Let me say that. And the we need a Mahawaka in the commentary, in the sub-commentary, there is no distance shown. By some sub-commentaries and the Bodhi Vibhavani, they estimate the distance from the Bodhi tree. Okay, this 52 feet, just estimate, away from the Jabala. At the time, untimely and unexpected great shower happened. While the Buddha was meditating, then great shower, the great heavy rain started. Then the serpent coiled around the body of the Buddha 7 times and then covered the Buddha's head with this large hood. Since the tree is called Muchalenda, the name of the serpent king is called Muchalenda. So when you go to the Buddha Gaya, then we can see all these statues as well. So by the help or by the protection of a serpent king, the Buddha spent under the Muchalenda tree for 7 days as well. So this week is on Muchalenda, 6th week. The serpent king, he just protected the Buddha, and after 7 days later, he guides of a young man. Normal serpent king anymore. He assumed himself as a young man form. In that way, the Buddha spent 6 weeks under the Muchalenda tree by the protected by Muchalenda serpent king. And the 7th week is called Rajayatana. It's about 45 feet in the south from the Bodhi tree. When the Buddha came out from the emancipation, the bliss of emancipation, even though he was the Buddha, physically the Buddha still need to wash his face to clean up for his body. At the time, Sakya, the king of the Deva, came down and assist the Buddha. So this is the happened on the 7th week. This is the last week as well. Then on the 7th week, at the end of the 7th week, the four Brahmins also offer the four bowls. Four bowls, when the Buddha hold it, four bowls, we are told that four bowls become one. Four bowls become one. Then another incident is the Buddha and the Bhante, two merchants from the Ukalapa, came and see the Buddha and offered the breakfast for the Buddha as well. So after seeing and paying respect to the Buddha, these two merchants became the first two Buddhists. Another thing quite interesting is they have only two genes, not like a triple gene, since there's no Sangha was founded yet. So this could recite only Buddhaṃ Saranang Gacchami and Dhammam Saranang Gacchami. Not Sangham Saranang Gacchami yet, because at the time there's no the order of Sangha yet. So according to Mahavansa, Buddha Vansa, the Buddha and the Bhante were the first two Buddhists. But until now, purposely the Buddha did not teach, did not preach to anybody yet. So I would like to rewind that. First week, second week, third week, and fourth week, the Buddha is just only around the Bodhi tree, did not go anywhere. Then from the fifth week onward, the Buddha slowly departed the Bodhi tree. So all dear members and devotees, and all Dharma friends, the Buddhists around the world, now we are facing the same things. We are facing so-called coronavirus. That's why you all are. Some of you are locked down, cannot go to anywhere. That's why I'm just reminding you to reflect how the Buddha spent his time. First week, just sit down. Second week, reflect the gratitudes of the Bodhi tree. And the third week, walking exercise, or doing the walking meditation. Then the fifth week, reflect and contemplate the Abhidharma. In that way, the Buddha spent 4 weeks. The same way, I would like to remind you, while we are staying at home, we can do a lot of things. We can follow what the Buddha practiced, what the Buddha did. In which way? We do meditation. Even this morning, Bhante Raja already gave the instruction as well. We can do meditation, loving kindness meditation, compassionate meditation, as well as this is a time to reflect the gratitude of the people around the world, especially our parents, our teachers, our pioneers, the leaders of the country and the religious leaders, scientific leaders. There are a lot of things to be. So this is the time we are facing the problem. This is the good and the best time to reflect the gratitude of the people as well. Then also, we have to study some more, we have to contemplate some more, we have to do our homework as well. Then my message to you here is, only after 7 weeks, the Buddha made his future plan. Where shall I go? What shall I do? Who shall I teach? And so on. So the same way, under the current situation, let us live at the present moment. Let us live at the present moment. while we are updating ourselves, doing the self-updating, and then reflecting the gratitude, and then following the rules of the government, and as well as practicing for our health, daily activities, and have exercise, and so on and so forth. That by doing all these things, let us live in the present moment, like the Buddha. The Buddha made the future plan after 7 weeks. Maybe about 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, we could do the future plans. But now, this is the time to live at the present moment. Today, I will talk about the early history of the Sakya and about the 7 weeks, how the Buddha spent his early days in order to remind ourselves. Sometimes if we don't know, we may get disappointed, we may get upset, or maybe we may think we lost a lot of things. No, in fact it's not. Even the Buddha did not do much as soon as he became the Buddha. Same way, now all the members and devotees of the temple and all the Buddhists alike around the world. Now, let us live at the present moment. When all these things are, we can make the future plans. Okay, I'll conclude my Dhamma talk here. Thank you very much for paying attention.